All right, so I didn't quite finish, but here it is. Total votes becomes, or plus equals votes. I want to make sure that, even though this is already set to 0, because it gets set anyway, but I'm going to set this equal to 0 right here. I don't necessarily need to, but just for myself, because it starts out at 0. And then I want to add each of the votes so I can compute the vote percent. Okay? When you compute the vote percent, the way you're going to do that is this. Okay? Because they all have a vote percent, right? So we're going to look over here and we're going to use set vote percent. So, oh, I don't like not having that view. Anyway, so I'm going to use set vote percent. So how I'm going to do that is this. I'm going to say, okay, well, I need a for each, right? So I'm going to say for each candidate in my CL list. All right, now I'm gonna go up here and it sets the vote percent for us here. So I wanted to make sure there was an instance variable here, which there is. Okay, so for each candidate, what am I gonna do? Well, I'm gonna say candidate dot. Now remember, this is a candidate, so I can use set vote percent from here. Set vote percent. Okay. Oh, I need to say for each candidate, set vote percent. That could have been my problem up here, but it's okay. Set vote percent, and I need a double vote percent. Remember, these are ints. So what am I going to do? Well, I can't just access the votes that I put in here, right? Because they're inside of here. And so I need to use what over here is going to get me the votes. Okay, I need to get num votes here. So I'm going to say, let's see. Going to cast it as a double and write candidate dot get num votes. Okay. Divided by total votes. Okay. That is the percentage. Remember, I'm casting it as a double because they're both an int, I believe. This one is an int and total votes was an int too. So now I'm setting the vote percents. Done. I did it. I accessed this over here. I used a for each loop, remembering to, this was my bad before, but you can learn from my mistakes. Remembering to declare the kind of thing that are in my CL list. Now, I'm going to start this implementation for you. And since we already used the toString here, this will be a little bit easier. Just use get viable list in here. You can just print get viable list. Like, this should be the easiest thing ever. Like system.out.print get viable list with the parentheses because it returns an array list. And since array list has a toString, it'll access the toString that is in here in candidates because these are an array list of candidates. So here's what I'm going to do. I need to return, this is the return type, an array list. I'm going to say array list. Okay, and you know what? I think, see it's red. So instead of just java.util.scanner, we'll say java.util.star, which will then allow me to use array list here. Okay, let's check here and change that here real quick. So that, don't forget it. All right, so it is an array list of candidates. Okay, and I don't know, I'll call it viable list. And I don't know how many candidates there are going to be, so I'm just going to declare it by itself. Like this. Oh, whoops. I need to tell it it's candidates. Okay, now You're going to do something in here. I'm going to give you a hint as I talk. You're going to have a loop. Oh, first you're going to need a loop. I would use a for loop because you need, actually, you don't necessarily need to use a for loop. Just some sort of loop here. And in the loop, you are going to have a loop and an if statement to determine if a candidate is viable, meaning I think they have above 10%, or it might be 10% or above. Let's see. Print viable. Oh, it should say right here. Including their updated vote percentages. Okay. Returns a list of viable candidates, namely those candidates who got at least 10% of the vote. So at least meaning 10% and above. If a candidate is viable, and add that candidate to the list. Okay, so that's what's going on here. I'm going to say return. At some point, we're going to need to return this viable list here. Okay. And then down here, I told you guys what to do, so you should be okay with that. So when I have my tester, it's actually going to be pretty easy. What I'm going to do is I'm going to run candidate list. Candidate list test becomes new candidate list. So what's super cool about this is because everything was in the scanner here and used here, it doesn't matter. It's going to do all the printing and everything here. Okay, what do I need to call? Well, I'm going to need to call a couple things. First of all, I'm going to want to print out my list, right? So, well, maybe I just want to print out my viable list. Maybe that's it. So in order to test this, maybe I'll just print my viable list. If you want to, you can put something in here that would print out all the candidates, but I don't even think we need that. So let's do this. We'll just say candidate list dot print viable. Okay, print viable. Is that what we called it? Print viable. Why? No, I don't want to make it static. Oh, that's why, because I called it on the class. So test.print viable. There we go. So that's called on the object. So what's going to happen is here, this is going to make my list. Okay, it makes everything in my list. If you would like to print out your list before making a viable list, you can make something in here that will print out your list. You can call it whatever you want. An example of that would be public void print list. And then we could say for each candidate in my CL list, okay, because I'm still in my CL list, what am I going to do? System.out.print line candidate, which is cool because then what's going to happen is it'll go back in here and it'll use the toString from in here. So some of this, so let's say I want to run that first. Test dot print list. So what's this going to do? It's going to print our whole list first, and then it'll print viable once you actually fill this in. I'm not going to do that for you. You can fill it in yourself. It should actually be easier than this, just as a hint. Okay, so let's see how this is running. Like I always say, I never expect it to run great on the first try. I always expect that there's going to be some sort of error. So Let's just say I have 2 candidates at this point because I'm just testing. Well, let's see where my, oh, duh, I have to return in my toString. Return. So now I returned in my toString. Maybe you already caught my error. And this, can't see candidates. Why is that? That is strange. Oh, I forgot to hit new. Come on, guys. Making such silly, such rookie errors. But that's cool. It's catching it for me. So, all right. So how many candidates are in the election? Let's just say there's 2. What is the name of the first candidate? Let's say Mrs. Oh, I don't want to use myself. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. How about John? How many votes did he have? Let's say John had 4. Then we'll say the other one is Sam. Sam has 6. Okay. Ooh, it didn't compute my votes though, which is good to know, right? So now we got to go back here. Ooh, because I didn't call here. What did I not do? I didn't call the method compute vote percents. It's always good to just test out. That was here. I filled them in, but I never called it. So then they all got set to 0. That was my bad. So here we go. See how we did. We had 2. We had John. And he had 4. And we had Sam. And he had 6. And there we go. 0.4, 0.6. So it's all working well. You should be able to fill in here. I declared it. You should be able to do this here and print viable here. Let me know if you have any questions.